Hi everyone. So my name is Soma Raj Laxmi, and I'm with GeekYants from the last 9 months. Earlier, I was there as a sales executive, and it was last month only that I switched to design team. My background is there in interior architecture. I have studied 4 year of college in for the interior architecture. So I was anyway inclined to design, and then I went to business team, and now I'm back to UX UI team. So it has been great so far. 9 month journey with GeekYants, and I got to know both about business side and the design side. So now today I'm presenting something about usability testing. One of the type of usability testing, that's rapid usability testing. It's a topic that really interests me, and it's something that will be very relatable to each and every of you, I'm sure. Okay, then let's get started. Okay, so there's a question that I'll bounce here. So I want you all to give me any situation to actually share any of your experience where you were not very much satisfied with a feature of an application during any task. Let's say you were booking on any travel booking website, or you were just shopping on any e-commerce platform, or any such scenario, where you came across an application, a particular feature, and you thought that, okay, this can be changed, or this is not nice, or maybe because of that particular feature you actually dropped out, you didn't use that application any further. I would share mine. I'm sure you must be aware about IRCTC, right? So that's like, that takes forever to load, and like once you do one mistake in that website, let's say whenever I book my tickets, the confirmation also takes like a lot of time, right? So that's like, but I know there is not like many alternatives to it, but I try not to go to that website and try to find alternatives to book my tickets. But so like that's a very negative point for me, right? And I definitely think in my head that, why does IRCTC, when so many people are saying, why don't they change their website, why don't they change their one particular feature, like checkout feature maybe, right? Or let's say another like Swiggy Genie. Now that is also, it recently came in the market, right? Even with that, I didn't have a very good experience. So any such example that you would want to share, it'll be great. We can make this like an interactive session.
Yeah. Hi, Soma.
Yeah.
Sarat here. There's one experience I had. So I have Royal Enfield. So there's an app for Royal Enfield, and on my bike there's a navigation tripper like that guides you. So when let's say I connected my bike with my navigation tripper. Oh, sorry, I connected the mobile with my navigation tripper. So it guides you. Like let's say I set a location, like I want to reach at one point, but the tripper shows me only arrows, right? Like it will show you, like you have to, like in 500 meters turn left, or maybe go straight for 1.5 kilometers. It will show me. Sometimes what happens is, like on my phone, I also want to see like the map. Like when you are on Google Map shows you there's an arrow or there's a car going, and you have to turn right, you have to turn left on the road. So that is way more interactive for me. But on my bike tripper, it shows just arrows and distance. So simultaneously, I also want to see on my mobile, like my live location, like as it is shown on Google Map, but it is not there. So basically, the live status of like my location is not visible on Royal Enfield app as it is visible on like a Google Map application. That is one problem I face, like while using that map service on the Royal Enfield app.
Okay, that's a great example, Zaid. So, and I'm sure that must have, like you compared the application with Google Meet, right? You instantly compared it, but maybe because you cannot alter it, because maybe they don't have an alter, like another application that will go compatible with your bike. Is there any substitute there that you can actually download and use?
No, there is no substitute. Like you have to link.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. But what if there was? You would have changed, right?
yes, I definitely would have changed it.
Okay. So, anyone raise their hand? I heard the click.
Yes,
Yeah.
makeup.
Yeah, Soma. So one experience is there. I wouldn't say that it backstabbed me from using that particular application, because that particular application is WhatsApp. I faced a challenge in that when I was searching for some of the text over there, like important information. I remember the date over there at what time I've sent the message, but again I don't remember like exactly what were the words used in that particular message. So there is no filter to like filter out the date in that particular research panel or the chat. So that was a thing which was there for me. And same I faced in Teams also once, that you can't search out the chat. We are looking for some information, but we nowhere has a search panel over there. We can type in the keywords and we can search out the thing. So these are like some of the important things which should be there in this like conversational UI. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good example, actually, Mega. Even I'm sure, many of you can relate to it because I did, especially in terms of WhatsApp, I did, because many times even I forget, what were the keywords. So, Mega, did you use any other application where you were able to filter it from date? I'm curious. Like,
Not as such, but yeah, I would love to build that particular feature in WhatsApp.
okay, okay, all right, that's great. Okay, anyone else raise their hand?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, hi, Krupali.
Yeah, hi. So, actually, last month only, I booked a ticket and from Clear Trip. So, what happened? I booked round ticket. So, I wanted to cancel my return ticket, and I wanted to check how much I will get and all. So, I went to that app and I followed all the process, like all the steps I followed. And at the end, I realized that okay, I can do everything except canceling my return ticket. Like I can reschedule it, I can change the dates, I can cancel the whole round ticket, but I couldn't cancel my return tickets. And then I called to that customer care number, and they said that okay, we will be able to do it, but they didn't give me any answer that why it's not available. So I had a very bad experience with that.
Okay, okay. That I think they should have highlighted this maybe somewhere. Usually they write
Yeah.
it, right, in their terms and all, but they should
And
definitely
yeah,
highlight
they
it.
actually highlighted it that you can, reschedule, you can cancel everything, but this particular return ticket they didn't highlight.
Okay,
So
that's their business strategy.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So see, all these examples that Zaid just gave, Megha gave, and Krupali just gave, and these platforms were of three different domains, right? Like messaging app, or maybe a travel booking application, or something like that application that goes with your motorbike or maybe with your car, right? Now, these kind of application are trending a lot, and all of you use these things in your everyday life. So, see, when you use something in your everyday life, it's very important that it should not be frustrating at all, because there is abundant of competition in the market today, right? Like Zed said, if he had an alternative, he would have definitely gone to it. Definitely, you will switch right away. So this, like the problem statement that you see on my screen also right now. So there was a food supplement website, and there were 82% of the user that they noticed that they were adding in their cart, but they were not actually checking out. Okay. So how did they get to know? Through analytics, obviously. So the users were coming to the website, they were surfing the website, they were adding all the items to the cart, but then there was no checkout that was happening. What was the reason? There could be two main reasons. Either people were window shopping, if we assume, or either that people were actually facing difficulty in the checkout process. But then how will company get to know that what is the issue that people are facing, right? Company, how will they get to know from a customer? Like this is very comes on very individual customer level. So that's when the usability testing comes in the scene. So this is something that when we empathize with the end user and we get to know what is the issue, maybe in the existing digital product or physical product, or maybe in a product that's is still in the designing process or development process. So usability testing, it's a UX term, it's a UX research term, but it can be used with any type of designing field. Like let's say urban designing, It can be used to actually predict that what type of roads people should have, or what type of parking people should have, what is the user behavior in general, how do people park their bike, how it is convenient for them to do that, right? So it can be used in urban design, it can be used in product design, like how people interact with a toaster, how a person with like let's say any disability I have, okay? So if I'm interacting with a glass of, like with a particular glass of water, and some other person is interacting with the same glass, there could be difference, right? So it is to understand that what are the different type of our end target users, and how do they actually interact with the product. So that's when you empathize with them and understand and fill that gap and better your product to relaunch in the market, or maybe to launch in the market. So this was about usability testing. Now there are two types of usability testing, okay, mainly. It is actually a very vast topic, but I'll keep it short today. So mainly it's divided into moderated and unmoderated. So like the name suggests, moderated is something when we actually, like I as an interviewee, will be present physically with all my end users, okay? So maybe I can do it through card sorting. It's one of the method, like I can observe them physically, I can observe their response, I can observe how they are behaving and how they are taking the decisions when I'm telling to actually finish a task, okay? Unmoderated is something like remote usability testing, which is very common in UX these days, because remote work is very common now. So many companies who are launching, or who are about to launch a new feature in their product, like how Instamart was launched, right? Swiggy, why will they got this urge to launch Instamart, right? They must have done some market research, right? They must have had some feedback that maybe Dunzo, an application like Dunzo, is there now. So why will people use their application more? So things like this, like unmoderated usability testing also come. I'm sure you also must have participated at one point or another, maybe in the form of some feedback form and all. So that's like unmoderated testing. Now like you definitely got from all these experiences of that, right now people shared that why we should conduct it. We should, like, the main 2 points of conducting it, definitely to be able to understand the real time problem, okay? Like keep the assumptions and biased aside. See, as a product owner, I can be biased. See, my experience with the same product could be very different from what someone else's experience was. Now, experience can also be differentiated on the basis of environment, right? Because maybe I use it here and somebody else has used that same product in some very different situation, some very different cultural place, right? So there could be many factors that affects how a person interact with any product. So for understanding all these and for actually filling the gap and enhancing a product, usability testing is very much needed. So these are like few key pointers I wrote, like for validating desirability or estimating market demand and value. And one very interesting fact about it, that you don't actually have to do usability testing at the end of the designing, like when everything is designed. You can also conduct it in the middle. Like let's say in agile methodology, I'm sure you must know that it is one of the methods that we use also in our company, where the development and the design, it goes parallelly, right? So let's say there are total of 55 screens, okay, or let's say 60 screens, okay, and out of those 60 screens we are done with 10 screens. We are done with high fidelity design of 10 screens, and we have started now 11 to 20 screens design, okay? But before we send now, parallelly only, when we are designing for the 11 to 20 screens, the 1 to 10 screens will go for the development process, okay? Now, how to actually save ourselves from the dilemma of assumption and bias, that we actually push those 1 to 10 high fidelity screens for quick usability testing before we push it to development, so we can quickly get end users feedback on it, and we can quickly iterate it before pushing it to development. So that is also, that goes on in entire product cycle. Okay, so this was about when we should not do usability. This was about when we should do usability testing. Any of you can guess when we should not do it? Any guesses? Like, when we should not at all do it, like we should not care what our end users want. Okay, so this is something that design people will relate to. So we are not able to conduct it because most of the client don't have money for it. It's not like they don't have money, but don't want to put it for usability testing in particular. Okay, and also they don't have that much resource and time factor is also there. So that's like one of the major reasons, that we designers also face how to convince the client for usability testing. Now we definitely got the zest of, I'm sure you must have got the zest of usability testing. Now let's know about rapid usability testing. Like I said, lack of resources and lack of money is one of the biggest factor of why clients don't choose usability testing. And as a designer, I definitely understand that what is the, it is a very important role. It holds a very key importance during any product like development cycle or designing cycle, right? So for convincing our client, we can maybe approach them with thing called rapid usability testing. Now, rapid, like the word suggests, it can be done very quickly. Like it can literally be done in a day or two, in a day also. So, see, you're saving time, you're saving money, you're saving resources, right? Now, like why it is used, definitely when you don't have that much of bandwidth of your resources and money, then you can simply just do this. Like rapid usability testing could be a great alternative. Also, you don't miss out on understanding what the end users want. So I'll be talking about one of the methods that is used in rapid usability testing, that is called RITE method. All right. So it stands for rapid iterative testing evaluation. So this word was this RITE method was actually it came out of a usability testing that was being conducted for video games at Microsoft. So the term was coined by Michael Medlock. He was that time senior product designer there, and they were testing one particular video game at Microsoft back in it's been definitely about more than 10 years that they this process came. And ever since that, it's been like, it's one of the best way to actually do a rapid usability testing, to understand that okay, if there are 10 versions of design, then out of these 10 versions, which is the best version to actually go with the user needs, with the end users needs. Okay, so I'll quickly now what is difference in right than rest of the usability testing method is that in this you can actually alternate your designs. Okay, so in most of the usability testing, what happens, I will show you a website maybe, or I'll give you a product, the end user, and I will ask you to do a particular task. Maybe I'll tell you, okay, show me how you sign up on this platform. Okay, so you'll just go there and you'll just do that particular, you'll just fulfill that particular task, and I'll observe and everything. But in here, I will tell you to do the task first, and then I will observe, then I will ask you question, I'll take your feedback, and maybe quickly I can iterate the entire design. Maybe you will say that okay, I am not able to find the sign up here. Maybe if it was there in the right side corner, I would have found it quickly. Or maybe you would have said that the sign up CTA color is not working, or maybe that this sign up form is too big for you to fill up, right? Like you're not going to put this much of time to actually fill up a form and do the sign up like that. So I can iterate those quickly, and maybe I can represent you the design at that moment only. Let's say within, it's a very fast process. Okay, it's a very fast process, right? And then I can get your feedback. So in this way, I can give like multiple iterations to one particular set of participants, and I can understand that which of the set of iteration actually works for those participants. So I can get the results very quickly, right? And in this way, you won't be assuming anything, because you have already tried and tested all different types of iterations with the users, right? So that's why, and it's very fast process, like I said. and it happens like usually like 1 to 3 to 4 maximum. Participant in this is 5, not more than 5, because see, you will have to get their feedback and you will quickly have to iterate everything on the basis of what each and every of those participants are telling you, right? So not more than in fact 5 is also a lot. 1 to 4 participants is considered ideal for right. Okay, so you can see here like this small image I've put design. 3 participants are there. We got their feedback on design, we updated it, and then we kind of like reiterated the entire process. So this you can do for 2 to 3 times. If you want 4 times also, if you have like time, so definitely you'll get like feedbacks of participants on 4 different iterations of a single task flow, right? Okay. Now, when we should use, right? When our design, like the ideal time to use it, when our designs are there in the mid fidelity prototype. Okay, and it's not like you can use it with high fidelity also, but the ideal time is mid fidelity, not also low fidelity, because there could be high chances that you anyway iterate it a lot and enhance it a lot till you take it to mid fidelity. So you need to make sure that you have and also when you are conducting it, you need to make sure that you have like good set of preparation for it, for like you need to have whiteboards with you, you need to have a good number of mock-ups with you, and they need to be set up in certain like particularly very like I would say very categorized. Like keep everything ready because it's a very fast process, right? So you need to make sure that you don't miss out on any of the feedback, or you don't like incorrectly document anything, because that could happen. If 4 people are telling you 4 different perspective about single task flow, and again you are giving them this different design of same task flow, again they are telling and again you are doing it, so that can be done quickly in a single day only, but you need to make sure that you document it very properly. And in the end, if you show the like results visually, maybe in the form of a graph or maybe in the form of a table, so that's very easy to understand, for the stakeholders, and then be able to derive or takeaways from that. Like, okay, there were 4 users that would actually prefer this. Okay, there were 10 users that were actually prefer this. So you can actually derive from those charts. Okay. So like here I just kept an example because I just mentioned that you should document it very properly, right? So if you are doing it manually, if you are doing it physically, then we can document it by creating a table in Excel sheet like this. Or if we are doing it on a platform that like tools that are used for remote testing, which I'll be discussing about, like Optimal Workshop, then it is auto documented everything. All right. So let me talk about one of the methods. Like I said, see, these topics are very vast, and there are more than I would say 5 to 6 methods, ideal method that can be used for write. So one of the method that I'll be discussing today will be card sorting. So this is basically to understand how as a person or how an end user understand and categorize information. Okay, because there could be difference, how I am categorizing information and how another person is categorizing. See, we both could be of same age and same everything and everything, but still we could, our understanding of data or maybe our the way we analyze data could be very different, and that could impact on how we use the application also. Okay, so for any company to be able to provide the most efficient user experience and the most like quick user experience, I would say, so for that it's very easy, it's very important to understand that what is the ideal way to actually put the data on a website. Okay, so card sorting is one of the methods. It can be done in both ways, moderated and unmoderated. We can take like 10 people in a room and we can give them sticky notes simply, and we can tell them, okay, you have to lay sticky notes. We can give them categories and we can just tell them, okay, you have to divide it into this. So all 10 of them will divide information, and then in the end we can analyze and we can take our like we can take away from their feedbacks there, from however they have categorized it. So it's, you can definitely read about it. And there are mainly two types of card sorting. Okay, so one is open card sort and another one is closed card sort. So open card sort is something that we do for websites which are already which are existing website, and sorry, which are not existing, which are like we are creating it from scratch. So we still don't have categories defined for them, so we let the participants define categories also, and we also let people define, whatever will go in each categories. All right, in closed card sort we have predefined categories. Let's say we already have like Swiggy, we already have Swiggy existing, right? And we want to understand whether we should add Instamart or not. So maybe we took like a survey, or maybe we did card sorting with 20 people, 50 people, like that. And we actually gave them some cards, and we told them, okay, so now you already have this application, you already have these features, categories and everything, you just have to place whatever will be subcategories and all. So subcategories can be determined by the users there, the end users, but categories are predefined. All right. So, like I mentioned earlier, also that it can be done unmoderated also, the usability testing, and there are several websites, right? So, here are few of the tools that you can simply use free of cost also till some extent, and you can get the information that you want from the end user. So one of them, optimal workshop, I actually used among one of the workshop that I conducted on usability testing in September with the design team at GeekYants. So I'll show you, what were the interesting findings, and I'll also show you how quickly I was able to conduct it. So I'll be sharing these links in the chat once I'm done with the presentation. So usability hub is one, look back is another one. Okay, so this is was conducted in September, and this was very spontaneous. Okay, so it was not like design team had prepared anything. Nothing was prepared. So I just had one query. Like in the start of the presentation, I mentioned my experience about Dunzo. I think, right? I said that I used Dunzo. So when I shifted to Bangalore, I shifted to two of the places. Okay, so at one place, the Dunzo used to come in about less than 10 minutes. Okay, but at the other place, when I reshifted, it was taking literally 15 to 20 minutes. So that was the time, when I started researching. I didn't know that I knew there are other competitors, but I had never downloaded the app because I was a loyal customer of Dunzo. But when I got this experience of, time shift, like the 5 to 10 minutes became 10 to 20 minutes for me, it was a clearly no for me. So I downloaded another applications and I went for it. So I was just wondering, how many people take decisions, at least for the quick delivery applications like Dunzo, Swiggy, Instamart, or Blinkit. So this was the card. I'll just show you how it was conducted. This is called Optimal Workshop. This test I conducted free of cost. There, I think you can add about up to 10 participants, or can conduct up to few number of usability testing here completely free of cost. So these were the cards that I gave to the members of the design team. There were about 20 members that day, and I got results of about 10 people. So these were few of the factors, that will trigger one like end user to take their decision about any particular e-commerce platform like Dunzo. And then I gave them categories also. See, here I gave them categories. So this was actually a open, like a closed card sorting, right? Because I already gave them predefined categories. So this is called a closed card sorting. So there were 4 companies: Swiggy, Instamart, Zepto, Blinkit, Dunzo, and these were the cards. So I just told them you have to place all these cards under each of these categories, whichever you feel like. So they did it, and these were the results. And I'll show you how quickly it was done. So you can see time taken here, right? It's 6 minutes and 49 seconds. So that was all. Like that is all that it took me to understand that out of, let's say, 10 people or 12 people, how many of them will use Swiggy because of which factor, and how many of them will use Blinkit because of which factor, like that. And I'll show you the analysis. So you can see, that how much time was taken by each participant also. You can also see the cards here again. You can see it in sorted into also, like they have been sorted. And the most interesting is you get the standardized grid. So see, availability of coupon, Dunzo gets 2 points, Swiggy Insta get 8. Checkout process, Swiggy Insta get 5, Dunzo gets 4. Zepto get 1, Blinkit doesn't get anything. Similarity matrix, you get it. So if I go, let's say here, availability of coupons, courier service grouped together by 50% of participants, 5 times. So you can understand these data. See, you can read it either through standardized grade or similarity matrix or maybe dendrograms, whichever is convenient for you to read and understand, right? To be able to, the end idea is for you to have some takeaways, some productive takeaways from here, so that you can actually be able to enhance your existing product, or maybe if you are making a new product, then maybe, put some input there. So all these things were done only in 6 minutes and 49 seconds to be precisely. Yes, so I'll share the link in the chat later. This is another test that I had conducted. It was for a travel website. So this, I had about 12 participants, and this was done remotely. About 12 participants only. I sent it to 25 people, and about 12 people actually took the entire survey, and this was the result that I'd gotten. And when you get the result, this is what you do with it. So I found key insights, I found considerations then. So like one of the key insights, it was actually a very it was a curriculum project. I was making a time traveling website. It was a very different kind of project it was for my college project. So I got a takeaway that people are more likely to think in terms of people, places, and moments rather than time periods. Because many of the people, see, even you would have traveled, you might not remember the exact date, you might not remember the exact what was that shop's name and everything, but you might remember the people. Places you might remember, but date is something that people don't actually remember. Moments you can remember. So this is something that I'd gotten the takeaway from that. And then I wrote consideration.